Hello guys and welcome back to another FIFA 23 custom tactics video. I'm Ash, or Bromma18, whichever you prefer. And today I've got another tactics replication video. We are talking about Mauricio Pochettino's Tottenham Hotspur tactics, in particular the system of that kind of 2016-2017 season when they really were just on top of their game, the best, really the peak of their powers. Yes, didn't win a trophy, as people will very much mention in the comment section, but a supremely entertaining team to watch and a very entertaining team to play as on FIFA as well. If you're new to the channel, welcome along. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to get notifications every time I upload. And without further ado, let's talk about the system. So, first things first, with the formation, we have a 4-2-3-1. Now, I've tried to kind of get the players in the best kind of positions as possible. We've had the likes of Alderweireld and Vertonghen as centre-back. We had kind of Danny Rose, Kyle Walker at right-back and left-back, Eric Dyer or Victor Wanyama at defensive midfield, and then next to him would have been Moussa Dembele or occasionally Harry Winks. Then in Cam, you'd have had kind of Dele Alli, Christian Eriksen on the right as that kind of false hybrid winger, Son on the left, and then Kane up front as well. And we'll also talk about how the system was tweaked a little bit depending on when they had someone like Lucas Moura on the right instead of Christian Eriksen. So there's a lot of formation and position changes here. You want to go with the natural 4-2-3-1 wide. First things first, you want to change the fullbacks to wing backs. And we do this in many videos. And what it does, it gets them further forward, more advanced. You'll notice when your centre backs get possession, these guys will push on ahead. And that will really help to kind of replicate the attacking roles of kind of Kyle Walker and Danny Rose. And then in the kind of attacking midfield area, first things first with Son, you want to change him from left midfield to left wing. Again, does a similar job of what the fullbacks to wing backs does, gets him further forward and in more advanced positions. You'll often spot him in line with the striker a little bit more. And then with Bentancur, who is the closest I could find to Eriksen, but really there's no one who I could really match with that Eriksen role in this current Tottenham team. You want him at RAM, because Eriksen really replicated or played that role of a kind of false winger, and he was often coming inside more, and he really did help to create space for Kyle Walker or Kieran Trippier down that right-hand side. Tactically, what do we have? Well, defensive style is on constant pressure. A disciple of Marcelo Bielsa is Mauricio Pochettino, and it really does kind of show in a lot of the way in which his team set up that relentless extreme press. So we got that on constant pressure. The width is on 20, making it very compact, and that's something that they did very well actually, only really kind of pushing players out wide when it came into that zonal area. Otherwise it did a really good job of kind of limiting that space in between each line. And then the depth is on 90, giving you a very high line in order to complement that extreme press that we've spoken about. Offensively, the build-up play is on slow build-up, as we know. They like to kind of play out from the back. And then chance creation is actually possession, because in this case, you tend to find the likes of Eriksen and stuff. It was a little bit more patient. Now, his teams have kind of rotated and changed. It changed a little bit depending on kind of personnel as well, but generally, they were very much more patient and probing, which is something that I guess is less kind of taken from that Marcelo Bielsa kind of coaching tree, who would definitely be on forward runs in this case. So we have that, and it ties really well with that constant pressure as well. The width is on 40, giving you a more balanced shape. Not too much I can really say about that one. And then players in the box is on 6, and it's going to give you around about 4 players in the box, which is really going to be kind of 3 of the front 4. Often Eriksen wouldn't be in that, and then someone like one of the fullbacks as well getting into the box. Corners and free kicks, both of these are on, as always, are on 4. Let's talk about the player instructions then. And starting off with Hugo Lloris in goal, we've got him when it comes to crosses and sweeper keeper as well. Of course, a keeper who is going to be very brave, much to his detriment, particularly in this era at Tottenham. I remember him coming in for a lot of criticism of some of the goals he was conceding, but he very much does like to say balls to danger and really go out for it. With the 2 centre-backs, no changes needed there with Alderweireld and Vertonghen, so you're absolutely fine. And then with the 2 fullbacks, as you would expect, both of these guys are on during the attack and overlap, and it really does help to kind of replicate just those attacking, extremely risk-averse kind of fullbacks in Walker and Danny Rose, who really did just play that ultra-attacking mentality in this system. With Eric Dyer playing that, well, Eric Dyer or Victor Wanyama role, we have got a very, very tight set of instructions. First things first, defensive behaviour is on tight mark. Of course, change from man mark as EA try and tick some boxes, I guess. And then attacking support is actually dropped between the defenders. You'll often find, particularly with Dyer, who is a kind of converted defender, midfielder, played, you know, kind of a multitude of positions during that Pochettino reign. He would often drop between that defence, and this was actually really effective because it gave you that free back and then allowed the fullbacks of Walker and Danny Rose to really get on forward. And it played very, very nicely as well. So it gave you that good balance. Interceptions is on aggressive interceptions to help replicate that kind of more aggressive ball-winning midfielder that he really did favour. And then defensive position is naturally cover wing to make sure that he is filling in for any of the fullbacks who have gone on forward, stick to position for positioning freedom. Now with Basuma playing that Moussa Dembele role, which, you know, just so fun watching him. The closest I could really find to Dembele, but not really that close, let's face it. Again, tight mark. Another kind of principle of that kind of Marcelo Bielsa scheme that we see from his coaching tree. It's a very man-marking orientated press. And so that's what we want both of these guys to do. Attacking support is stay back whilst attacking. Dembele didn't like to contribute in the attacking third a whole lot more. His role was really as kind of this, that kind of deep line playmaker, that progressor through the midfield, enabling them to get it out from the back and progress it to the kind of attacking third. It's really filtering the attacks and their movements through him. And so funny was to watch him as well. And defensive position, like Dyer, is also cover wing. Now we come on to these more varied attacking midfield free roles, and we'll start with Bentancur playing that Christian Eriksen role. First things first, come back on defence, nice and easy to get him tracking back. Now support and crosses will stay on the edge of the box of the cross, very similar to what he is like, I suppose, in his Manchester United days, or what he's always been like really. He really does hover around the box. It's not really his role to kind of get into the box, and more to make sure that he's instigating and dictating the tempo of the play in the upper areas of the field from the edge of the area. Positioning freedom is actually on free roam, really good for this Ram kind of role because he's going to do what he really did in real life, and that was kind of dropping into pockets of space, picking up the ball, coming deep, and just kind of getting onto the ball as much as possible. And that's really a great way to kind of replicate his role as well as that kind of half hybrid winger. Now, he really worked well with Dele Alli, who Richarlison in this case is playing that role. Dele Alli was really that second striker. He often liked to get into the box, an extra goal threat, and often what you'd find is Eriksen kind of peeling off and putting balls over the top towards the back post and kind of Dele Alli there. And that's what we're really looking to replicate here. So we've got him on comeback on defence, and we've also got his support on crosses on getting to the box for the cross. Now with Heung-min Son at left wing, very, I guess, obvious set of instructions here. We've got him on comeback on defence to get him tracking back, and then his chance creation is on cut inside. His support runs are on getting behind, much to the kind of extent of the fact that he's still doing that now, really. He's kind of always been a very similar role for him on that, well, either wing, really. And so that's what we're looking to do in order to get the best out of him. Finally, support on crosses are getting to the box for the cross. Now with Harry Kane, the big man up top, slightly differing roles here to what we see these days. It wasn't really until Mourinho kind of days where you saw him constantly dropping off. Now you did occasionally see him drop off in that Pochettino role. Think kind of Dele Alli goal away against Arsenal in the Cup, where Kane kind of dropped off into his own kind of half, put it over the top to Dele Alli, who kind of dinked the keeper and scored. So we saw him do it occasionally, is what I'm trying to get at here. But generally, his role was as this kind of target man. And so that's why we've got his attacking runs in that case as well. He's really going to kind of get players playing in and around him. And he likes to get the ball into his feet and go from there. And it's why you saw him score really a high proportion of his kind of long-range goals in his career scored during this Pochettino reign as well. His support runs are on stay central, and his defence support is stay forward. Now I can also show you how it was tweaked a little bit depending on some personnel changes. What you would often find is Eriksen would then come into central attacking midfield. Someone like Lucas Moura would be out on the right, and usually Dele Alli would be the one to kind of pay the price. but it did kind of change a little bit of tweaks here. So with Lucas Moura in this case, you want to replicate the instructions that we've set for Son, where we've got him on comeback on defence, cut inside, and getting behind. We've also got him on getting to the box of the cross as well. You also want to make sure that he's now this time changed to right winger, as you can see here. Now with Eriksen in the centre attacking midfield, you really want to replicate the roles that you had him out in the wide area. So you've got him on staying near to the box of the cross, and you've got his positioning freedom on free roam as well, so you'll still do that kind of same job. And really what they were looking to do here is get more pace and penetration out wide, but still look to kind of dictate the play and cover for those guys, with the likes of Eriksen kind of hovering in and around the area. So he can still kind of dictate the play, and really you've got kind of two tempo dictators in Dembele and Eriksen in those kind of central areas. So that really works well, and it does create a good balance. So I do think this is the more effective game plan to have when it comes to FIFA. So with that being said, we're ready to round it off there. If you want to see how this tactic ranks compared to all of my other systems, and as I always say, check out my tactics package on Patreon. Thank you so much to all of my wonderful patrons who are continuing to support the channel. You guys are keeping the channel going. I wouldn't be able to kind of justify really doing that much content without your kind of support. So I want to say massive thank you. And if you guys want to get in on that and get access to all the fantastic perks like exclusive tactics videos, fantasy football access, behind the scenes videos, early access to videos, Discord server access, and a whole range more, then check out my Patreon. The links will be down below. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Ring the bell to get notifications every time I upload. And until the next one, I will see you soon.